All right, well, let's move on to one area that's seen kind of the will they, won't they in terms of fiscal stimulus. We're diving deep into clean energy plays. The Biden administration, of course, taking steps to combat the climate crisis with last week's passage of the Inflation Reduction Act, sparking questions about the new energy economy. What will the ripple effects be on supply chains and beyond as we move toward a more energy efficient era? And what are the most crucial alternative energy sources out there? Tim, the administration pledging a lot of capital here, about $370 billion worth in energy and climate incentives, more spending in this area than any other single piece of legislation Congress has ever passed, according to Goldman. That's mostly, though, in form of tax credits. Give us your take on this bill. Who do you think stands to benefit the most?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, it's very clear that the administration is using the carrot in terms of trying to incentivize people to domesticate or at least work with fair trade countries in order to bolster the supply chains that are necessary to build out this next generation of infrastructure when it comes to both sustainable energy generation, but also how we use that energy all the way through, of course, to electrification. This capital that's flowing in through the administration, it's not just coming in the form of loans and grants, which is some of the things that we've seen in the past, but it's also coming through in the form of tax incentives as well. So what we're expecting to see is a structural benefit that's geared towards some of these companies that are really helping with this overall transition.
Tom, let's get more specific. Companies or types of companies. What's your take on this? We've seen a big push toward clean energy ETFs. Do you think this could be the next big catalyst that drives further flows in those companies or specific industries that stand to benefit from it?
Yeah, it's not as though clean energy has been new to the ETF space. There have been some great ETFs that have been around for over a decade. Two of the biggest, the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF and the Invesco Solar ETF, collectively have $9 billion, and both are up pretty well year to date. I think what Tim's alluding to, though, is you need to look at other areas. You need to look at smaller companies. You need to look at companies outside of the U.S. You need to look at companies that may not just be battery or solar. You need to look at producers of lithium, cobalt. We're going to need those minerals as we continue to move this clean energy process forward. And that's really going to be key and critical. Most of those ETFs that we have today that have billions of dollars in them tend to be cap weighted. So there's more invested in fewer companies. I think Tim's approach is a little bit more broad based, where it's more of an equal weight approach. So you have the opportunity to invest in smaller companies and have it be meaningful on the performance side.
Well, Tim, why don't you tell us? You've got this new energy ETF. It's all about exposure to a wider array of renewable energy sources. So what is in it? What is your approach here? How did you do the screening to determine how to structure this particular ETF?
Yeah, absolutely. So we look at it from the new energy transition being broken up basically on 5 broad segments, being energy generation, energy distribution, energy storage, performance materials, as Tom was alluding to, is a big part of what we do. And then, of course, e-mobility, ultimately how we utilize that energy. And what we're saying is that effectively that this transition is really broad-based. It's not just here in North America, it's global. We invest all the way around the world. And what we're trying to do is we're identifying what we consider the leaders. So this is like the companies that everybody has in any new energy ETF, companies like Tesla. But we're also focused on developing and incorporating the innovators. So this may be in areas like new types of battery technology. So groups like Solid Power are in our ETF because we see them as being an important part of this transition as we go forward.
Yeah, we just need some more IPOs to increase the amount of available clean energy companies to invest in. But it sounds like you're doing okay in the meantime. Well, thank you all so much for being here. That does it for this week's ETF Edge. I'm Leslie Picker. My many thanks to Tom, Matt, and Tim for joining us today. And thank you for watching. You can find all of our latest videos right here on our website, etfedge.cnbc.com. We'll see you next Monday, same time, same place. Have a good week.
Get the ABCs of ETFs with the ETF Edge newsletter, your weekly update on the hottest trends in the nearly $4 trillion market of exchange-traded funds, expert analysis, actionable ideas, and exclusive insight from host Bob Pisani. Sign up now at cnbc.com/ETF Edge newsletter.